Syko.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Back with another video, One Hit Combo. I'm here with my awesome colleagues. So it's just the three of us. Once again,
Three amigos.
I'm System Syko. This is Don 3 with the Chewbacca shirt this time. And of course, my man Josh.
What's going on, guys?
So with this video, we're thinking about doing our most memorable gaming years. Just kind of give like some stories, some years that we remembered the most, some video games that like we used to play, some like awesome times and everything. And the reason why we came up with this is because this year has actually been a pretty good year for gaming. As you may know, like tons of games have been coming out, such as like Metal Gear, what is it, Arkham Knight, Witcher 3, and so like we haven't even hit like the holiday season, and so we just wanted to share with you guys one of our like most memorable moments in gaming. I know you got one of the earliest years.
Yeah, Josh.
So what's like the first year?
So the first year that I started, the year that I actually started playing video games was 1987. I was 6 years old. I'm an old head, right? And so my mom had a good friend whose son had a Nintendo. So I used to go over to his place and I played Nintendo over there. And so of course there was like Super Mario Brothers and Metroid and Castlevania.
Damn.
He had already had those. Those
okay.
came out in like '86, right?
Yeah.
But we went over there a lot. I mean, I was over there probably 2-3 times a month, right?
Okay.
And I remember that in that year he picked up Castlevania 2, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out,
Oh, dude.
and then at the end of that year was when the first Mega Man dropped.
Okay.
And I remember that shit changed my fucking life. Like, I remember playing
The first Mega Man?
The first Mega Man, dude. Because like up to that point, you know, like I used to spend a bunch of time on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge Mike Tyson
Get
fan
knocked
when I was a
the fuck
kid. You know, I
Punch-Out.
what I used to do with Mike Tyson's Punch-Out though, my favorite thing to do was I used to fuck up Don Flamenco, right?
Okay.
But I used to make him go to the second round so you could see the cutscene in between when the two would talk. And that man would have a receding hairline. He was so dumb. Like, so I would go back and fuck him up. But I remember those were kind of the games that I would play the most. And then I would play like Castlevania.
Okay.
And then I was
Simon Belmont.
Yeah, dude. And so I would play those games and I really liked that. But I remember like I really like Metroid, right?
Okay.
But Metroid to me was so hard. Like
It's like what? Like you go anywhere, it's like open world.
yeah, and I just kind of like that space type environment,
Okay.
you know. But I was young, right? I was like 6 years old.
All them fucking years, I thought that Metroid was a dude. It was a fucking girl.
Yeah, it was
Samus
was the
fucking
girl.
girl.
Yep. And so I remember playing that, and like, dude, I spent so much time with the Nintendo that year, and that was actually the first year that I went to the arcade.
Yeah.
In '87.
'87.
So what games did you play at the arcade?
It was the arcade that was at Montgomery Mall.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
In the lower level?
Yeah, in the lower level of Montgomery Mall. And it had Rastin.
Okay.
They had Operation Wolf.
Okay.
Double Dragon.
The first one?
The first
Okay.
one. Dragon Spirit.
I know Dragon Spirit.
And that was the first, and that year was the first time I ever saw Contra. Now, I didn't play Contra there. I didn't play Contra until it was an NES port. Like, so probably like a whole year later.
I know for a fact, anybody that had Nintendo played Contra.
Oh, everybody.
You know what though? I ain't gonna lie. The first time I ever played Contra was Contra 3 on the Super Nintendo.
What?
I never played on the
Man.
NES, dude.
Dude, growing up in the 80s, you should have known the code,
I know,
man. You
dude.
should have known this.
It's funny because like David, you know, Trust Real, he had Contra, and I would go to his house, but I never played that gen, not until the third one, man. So like,
Jesus.
and same with Castlevania. Like I never grew up
playing Castlevania.
I never grew up playing Castlevania, man. Like,
Yeah, I played the Castlevanias back to back because, like I said, the dude that I went to his place, like those were pretty much like the premier games that he had.
Yeah.
And then during that year, like the games I just mentioned were some of the ones that he
But
picked up.
me and my brother, when we came of age as well, and we had our games, we didn't have it. We had Nintendo, but we had it afterwards. We had the Sega Master System first.
you had that first,
I had that
and
first.
then you got the Nintendo.
Yeah, because my pops, man, like, I mean, me and my brother, we were young, but we didn't know what the hell it was when he brought the shit down. But it was top notch, man. It had 3D glasses. It had.
Oh, you had the 3D glasses?
Yeah, we had a game called Missile Defense.
Oh yeah.
And then,
you have Alex Kidd and Miracle World?
No, we never had Alice Kid Miracle, but we had Hang On Safari Hunt.
Yeah.
Safari Hunt was the counter to Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
And we also had this game called Fantasy Zone.
Yeah, this shit.
No, my hands. That was the first time that my hands was sweaty when I was playing that joint because you be trying to beat the levels, but you could go to different warps and go different levels and shoot stuff. What other? We had Rambo.
Dude, Rambo was so legit, dude. I was still actually after we're done like shooting this video, we should roll this massacre.
I mean, it was kind of cool because our neighbor had Nintendo, but it seemed like the games that we had on there was like a little bit better because of the graphics and stuff. But man, I had some good experiences with the Sega Master System though.
That's tight, man.
Yeah, like especially with 3D glass. I had them big blocky glasses that the one the old people wear when they had the
they're all black, right?
Yeah, they're all black. Yeah, so it was kind of cool. So then we moved on to Nintendo, and in the neighborhood we grew up in, everybody had Nintendo, so we just go by people's house and play the games and stuff. But yeah, man, I mean like Mike Tyson's Punch Out was my favorite.
Oh, of course, yeah.
God, we played Tecmo Bowl. I wasn't that good at it though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Tecmo Bowl. Yeah. I had a good friend of mine when I was little. He had tons of games. You know what I'm saying? Like even the Friday 13th game he played, it was pretty cool. Yeah, he had so many Double Dragon. But we played Double Dragon 2 a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my jump when they had the hurricane kicks. Oh man.
Well, you could like bust the knees, people out the building and shit. The helicopter.
Double Dragon 1, what I felt was better on the Master System.
Yeah, that's 2 players
because that was 2 player, and it wasn't I don't think it was 2 player on the NES.
Nah,
I don't remember playing that one on the NES. I remember playing that one on the Master System, but Double Dragon 2, that was the one that I put the most time in.
Yeah, dude, Double Dragon 2, man, that's my favorite NES game.
That was my favorite joint that I played. But yeah, man, I think I had a lot more memories with the Nintendo because everybody had Nintendo.
That shit was popping.
There was always that neighbor in everyone's neighborhood. They had like fucking whole fucking catalog of games.
Dude, so that's the story I want to bring up. So like my year that I want to bring up is 1991, right?
Okay.
So I had lived. So my parents' house that they live in right now, we moved in there in 1990. So we had lived there for a year, and within that, in 1991, this kid across the street moved in, right? He was like this white kid. And he was the same age as me, and like I went over his house, and we were playing outside for a little bit, and he just, it was kind of cold outside. He's like, "Hey man, you want to go inside and play Nintendo?" I was like, all right, cause I had a Nintendo. I only had like 5 games, so we go inside his house, and we go into his basement. His house is weird because the basement was actually in the living room, but they had like this wood grain TV. They had like this big ass like fish tank and everything, and so they had a Nintendo, and I just remember he had like. It was like, I remember so vividly because he had a black leather Nintendo case with tons of games, right? With like a gold Nintendo like logo. He had Legend of Zelda, Adventures of Bayou Billy. Yeah, Bayou Billy.
Bayou Billy!
Yeah, dude, he had Gremlins 2, RC Pro-Am, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. He had like Super Mario Brothers 2. Dude, he had everything, man. Like I'm telling you, he had everything. Double Dragon. Like I go over there, and I just remember like looking at Zelda like for the first time, thinking like, wow, this shit is gold, man. It's weird because I just remember being blown away, man. Because like you said, there's always this kid in the neighborhood that had everything.
Yeah,
everything, man. And
you want to rob his house.
He had it all. So that's like my memory. That's like one of my most memorable moments of 1991.
91?
91.
Alright, that's the next year that I actually want to talk about is 91. Because 91, that was the year that Super Nintendo came out.
Yeah.
And that came out with Super Mario World.
Yeah.
I remember spending so many days at your house when you first got the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I got that joke for my birthday.
You got it the first year?
I got it the first year, I did, yeah.
And I remember we played that game so much just to beat it.
Yeah.
And I think that we like beat it like in like really in like a couple weeks. Like
not even, dude. I mean, cause like the thing is, the kid that lived across the street, he got the Super Nintendo a month before me.
Right.
So we had already beaten the game within that month, and so when I got it, I already knew what to do. So I beat that shit in like 2 days, dude. That shit was done. And on top of that, my aunt gave me Super Mario Kart. That was like one of my first games in Super Mario Kart. Done deal, dude. Like nobody could beat me in that jug.
Yep.
Game over. You know what I mean? Like,
that game was tough. And that was also the same year you were talking about Tecmo Bowl. That was the year that Tecmo Super Bowl came out. And dude, I remember like going to like friends' houses at school. And we used to like that was the first Madden, man. We would get on that and do hours worth of playing that
I never played sports games.
But man. You know what I like about the generation that we grew up in is that we got to experience everything from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like everything.
Like in a way, we kind of grew up with games.
Yeah,
like we started 8-bit all the way up to
like some kids that
now.
were born like the 90s. And I'm not taking anything away from you, but you know what I'm saying? Like you guys get to see what the graphics are spectacular now.
Yeah.
We had to deal with the 8-bit.
Yep.
The 16-bit.
But you know what's funny?
You know what
the 90s changed so much within 10 years, from like 8-bit all the way to Dreamcast, which was 128.
Right.
That's just in 10 years,
That
dude.
was a
That shit
10-year
changed
span.
a lot, man.
In 90s, we got the Sega Genesis. Like after the NES, we went straight to Sega Genesis.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the first person in my neighborhood that had it was this kid lived down the way. So we tried to go in his house and watch the game. His older brother's a fucking dickhead, so he was like, "Oh, you guys better go." So he got it I think he got it like March or something like that. And then we just told our fathers that we wanted to get it for Christmas.
Right.
So we got that joint for us, and he got us the Ultra Beast.
So like you got a Genesis, even though the Sega Masters was kind of like you know, wasn't
Yeah, I mean,
popular.
by that time, that shit was already broke. We had broke our Sega Masters, which I regret to this day, but yeah, we broke it. We started using the light phaser guns to shoot like real guns.
So when you got Genesis, you got it when the Ultra Beast came with the Sega Genesis.
No,
right?
it didn't come with the Sega Genesis. We got the one with the Sonic.
When Sonic came with
it came with this right here. This is exactly what it came with. This with the Sonic.
Yep.
Yeah. So as time went by, we didn't buy games. We just started renting them from Blockbuster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we used to rent them. We used to rent the games, from Blockbuster. And me and my twin brother, we would get games and we wouldn't go outside. We just beat the whole games. And what's so cool about it from back in the day was that we used to go get the codes. That's when codes was big. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go in the back of like I think Game Informer wasn't out at the time. They had other games like Game Pro or whatever game.
Yeah.
They had, they had articles in the front of the page, but in the back of the page, they would have all the games from every system and just break down all the different codes from, different things, different cheats. And that was my thing, just trying to get cheats for games. So we just go to Giant, just you write it down. Take the back pages.
That's what I did. Yo, one time, I didn't do all that, but one time
we took whole. We're gonna fuck around, take the whole magazine. We take the whole fucking magazine. Hey, come here!
When I got Mortal Kombat, like I knew there was a magazine in Safeway that had all the fatalities, so I told my sister to drive me there, and I just went and I just wrote down all the characters I liked. I wrote down every fatality, dude. I took it home.
And getting back into the Mortal Kombat when it first came out. Like, dude, that was like groundbreaking. Dude. Like for a game, dog. Like, dude, he ripped his fucking, he was just fucking spine off his back. You know what I'm saying? Like, ripped it out. Like, dude, that was awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved it. And I mean, they had the characters. You had Johnny Cage, who was like fucking Van Damme from fucking Bloodsport. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, I just loved that, man. That was my game right there. Mature ratings for games is because of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like, they had like them meetings and shit like that. I guess like with the senator or some shit they were talking about. It's like the games are warping kids' mind. And like, no, I want to play Mortal Kombat. I want to fucking rip somebody's fucking head off their fucking neck, but I don't know, man. Getting back to my Sega Genesis days, man, I like Sonic, when Sonic came out, Sonic 2, I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan. And like Sonic 2 came out, and then I had the debug code so I could make 50 coins and then turn the Super Sonic. The whole fucking board just, you know what I'm saying, like, just ran through the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Sonic. I love Sonic 3. I had Sonic and Knuckles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you put the thing on top of there?
Talk about though, because Sonic came out that same year in 91.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But being an arcade kid, I was 10 at that time. Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, Street Fighter, man.
Street Fighter 2, that kind of, I mean, you were talking about Mortal Kombat,
Dude.
But Mortal Kombat, the only reason why I even played Mortal Kombat was because of Street Fighter. That's what got me into fighting games.
Yeah,
Street Fighter 2.
Same here, man.
And I remember going to Putt Putt.
Okay.
I rode my bike up to Putt Putt.
Yeah.
And I remember going in there and seeing this huge line, like right around the Street Fighter 2
Oh, for real?
machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the first time I ever seen people put quarters
On top?
up on top of the screen
What the fuck
there.
does that mean?
That means they're
That
next.
was,
Yeah.
right. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. I was like, what the hell are they doing? Because before that, you didn't have, like, when you were playing other games, like, back in the
You
day.
just waited in line,
that.
dude. Just like,
Yeah,
they were just
exactly.
looking at
You
you
just stand there. But, dude, that was the first time. And
Because it got mad competitive, dude.
But-
It was like, who's better at beating?